Sunflower Story Hour Episode 1 Something's Happened to the Mayor. Written by Giulyana Gamero. Nestled in the corners of old western California, dry land and sands plague the settlers. Though far from desolate, a quiet air stills the evening, jarring from the town's usual bustle. The scene paved way for newcomers seeking riches in the mines. One man in particular took notice of the trend long whiles ago, and passed the business down to his son. And then he passed it down to his son. And to his son. That's where we're taken to the late 1800s and find the man of the evening.
Now come along, folks. There's plenty more room for conversation deeper into the estate.
Newly elected Mayor M guided his companions further into the lavish manor. The night's grand occasion was the Gold Baron's recent election. Those far and near arrived to partake in the revelry, although once the festivities died down, a few close ones remained to finish their cocktails and lounge on the plush upholstery.
Earl? Sheriff Jameson, what a pleasure to see you staying for the evening.
Oh, well, you know I couldn't miss a grand night like this.
Of course. The master's been hard at work for tonight.
Well, about that, actually.
The old sheriff trailed off as he noted the footsteps.
Evening, gentlemen. I hope you've been enjoying the night. Sheriff, say, I've been meaning to talk to you about this deputy position. I've been having some ideas lately.
Oh, Doug, that's mighty fine. But I need to talk to your father on some urgent matters.
Why, I can go and fetch him for you. Go on and make yourself comfortable in the meanwhile. The master has been all over the manor.
Trailing away, the butler went to find the mayor, and Doug, with an arm swung around the sheriff's shoulder, led the sheriff deeper into the lounge furnished with lavish couches and sofas alongside the sturdy oak accents of the room and floor. Although despite the luxury, commotion erupted before any word escaped the lips of either man. The sheriff hesitantly approached the door, hitting it with his fist in a loud bang.
Beatrice! Are you all right in there?
Standing in the doorway was Miriam, the mayor's esteemed housekeeper.
Boys, we have a very emotional situation on our hands. If you'll be so kind as to give us some room.
Well, what's happening?
You don't understand. Get out!
Pearls, once attached by a string, now lay scattered on the wooden floor of the bedroom, some rolling out from under the doorframe.
Oh, look at this mess. Come on, miss. Let me get you cleaned up.
Let's get a mosey on, Sheriff.
Huh. I thought that celebration tonight would make that woman over the moon.
My mother has been struggling to adapt to the rapid changes that have been going on. You know, with the election and all that buzz around town.
He catches himself.
But it's no concerning matter.
At that moment, the typically nonchalant butler marched to the men, visibly disturbed.
Gentlemen, I'm afraid there's been an emergency in the washroom.
Earl, please, we don't need to hear about the details of your work.
No, sir. The master has gone unconscious.
Oh, what in the... Let's go. Come on.
The men rushed up the corridor stairs and turned a left into the open restroom, where lying partially in the bathtub, the newly elected mayor slumped over.
What happened?
He was like this when I entered the room, sir.
Well, no, I don't feel his pulse. I believe this means he's passed.
No, how did...
Shall I tell the others, sir?
Gather everyone, Earl. Don't let a single person out of this manor. You hear me?
Yes, sir. I'll go right away.
The butler runs off, and shortly after, everyone remaining in the mayor's estate gathers in a tight cluster around the bathroom doorway. Some were appalled.
Oh, my word!
Others more confused.
How could this happen?
The man was in perfect health. He couldn't have just dropped dead, could he?
Welp, that's why no one here is leaving. Not until I get to the bottom of this. I'm bringing in my reinforcements. Now, I've already alerted the detective.
Whoa. What?
Listen, son, I didn't want to bring this up, but...
Why would you be calling the detective over, Sheriff? What's going on?
Doug, I don't mean to disrespect, but...
But what?
Doug, your father was a fraud. Folks deserve a fair vote, and if I let one case of corruption slide, well, shall I let them all slide then?
Sirs!
I'm just saying it how it is, Earl.
Oh, the man's dead, Sheriff. He sure wasn't the sweetest peach on the tree, but he's dead. D-E-A-D. Let's cut the slights and accusations and just find out what happened.
As the guests began to murmur, a rapping at the front door interrupted the silence.
Come on, everyone. Let's head downstairs.
And so the party marched down the steps, and the dark figure of the detective came into view, as did the scruffy female figure beside him.
Well, look at the menagerie, and I thought I'd be making a quiet appearance. No matter, not like this'll put a wedge in the investigation.
All righty, folks, step aside.
As the detective and his rookie take a few steps forward, the sheriff makes himself a barrier between them and the stairs.
Well, about that. Listen, there's quite a grand change, and well, I'm sorry, detective, but that man is dead.
The detective's head cocks to the side. His eyebrows go up in surprise, but his expression is set in the same unbothered manner as when he entered.
Well,
he spun on his heel, facing his assistant.
Looks like we're investigating something a little different this time, Stella.
An innocent excitement reached the rookie's eyes, and she seemed determined. She attempted to conceal this excitement.
I'm up for the challenge. Let's see the body.
He's upstairs in the bathroom.
Oh, please don't make me go back up those stairs. Such a strain on my legs.
Fear not. My apprentice Stella and I will take a moment to look at that. In the meantime, I implore you all to please relax. I know times are trying right now, but the calmer and tamer you all are, well, the faster I'll be getting into each nook and cranny and getting it all figured out.
Despite the detective's best efforts to ease the party's nerves, some tension painted each and every person's face.
Come on, Stella.
As the pair made their way up to each step, the detective felt a slight breeze bristle against the back of his neck. His hair stood up, and the whistling wind manifested itself into something louder, something grittier, something hungrier.
Well,
Who are you?
Detective?
seems like I've attracted the law once more.
Mayor?
He's right through this door, Detective. Are you alright?
Look at what they did to me!
Excuse me, Stella.
The detective pushed his way past the rookie and swung the bathroom door open. And hovering above the slumped body, a ghoulish apparition resembling the deceased mayor peered into the detective's eyes.
Stella, keep your voice down. There's an apparition above the body. Trust my word, and I'll let you know if it makes any movement. Go on, observe the body. I'm keeping my eye on it.
Please do. I'm so flattered.
The rookie's eyes widened, but she nodded and approached the body cautiously.
Is it?
Never mind that, Stella. Keep looking. Any visible sign of injury?
Of course there isn't. Don't you think you know, detective?
No. There's not a scratch or gash or bruise. I mean, he looks a little pale. Some rather dry lips. Perhaps it was poison.
Bingo.
Yes, exactly.
Is the apparition? Is it still here?
Yes, it's the mayor.
The apparition of the mayor loomed above his pallid corpse, the ghostly translucence of his flesh twitching with each chuckle that left his mouth. The rookie looked at the detective, her lips parted and her mouth agape at the news.
Mayor, do you know anything at all, that has happened?
Well, I have many jealous counterparts who I'm sure would have done anything to see my downfall.
So, you believe you were murdered?
Of course I was. Why, I was sputtering and clenching my chest and stomach, and while the light just about went out of my eyes right before, wham! I hit that ceramic bathtub. Don't you think someone would have tried to kill me sooner?
You were much more controversial than what met the eye, I must admit.
You just don't know the business.
Well, besides that, did you catch who did it? Face, fingers, any identifier?
I was around everybody's now. How do you expect me to know?
What is he saying? What is he saying?
The detective, now becoming increasingly frustrated, ignored the apparition and turned instead to the rookie, who was listening intently.
Stella, let's make our way downstairs.
The pair made their way back down again as the mayor's apparition grumbled, watching them leave. As the detective and his apprentice made their way down the stairs, the party looked at them, captivated by their every move.
Well, everyone, it seems that there was a murder.
Oh, that's just sad.
You know, I wish I could say I was surprised, but it seems like a few people had it out for the guy.
Well, who could have done it?
We don't really know. What we need to do now is make sure that everyone stays put, and most importantly, stays calm. Butler, could you pass me that vase?
The butler carefully handed a cerulean vase to the detective.
Staff and family members, you must place your keys to the front and back exit to the manor in this vase. No one is to leave. I know, and I'm very sorry, but I assure you, this is necessary. Now I want a name and relation to the victim from each of you, starting with you. You don't happen to be the mayor's daughter, do you?
The detective made a nod at Beatrice, who seemed quite pleased with herself, contrary to the state of distress she was in before the predicament.
You humor me, detective. I am, or was, the mayor's wife, though I'm not shocked you couldn't tell. You may call me Beatrice.
Perfect. And then you, Douglas. I could have sworn I'd seen your face all over the papers with the news of your father.
Why, yes, you have. I'm my father's heir to the business. Although, I guess it's my business now, huh?
Careful, sir. It's best not to get ahead of yourself.
The detective cocked his head toward the butler, curious.
The butler warning the master's son. How interesting, indeed. Your name?
Earl, sir. I apologize if I appeared too bold.
The butler hung his head, almost shamefully, but that did not disrupt the detective's investigation.
I'm Chester. I was the master's private chef 24/7, 365 days a year.
Miriam, I've been the head maid here for 35 years.
My, such dedication. And you, sir?
Well, I'm just the groundskeeper here, trimming the hedges and taking care of the tumbleweeds.
Mm-hmm.
And weeding the garden and raking the tumbleweeds.
Mm-hmm.
Sowing the soil and watering the tumbleweeds.
You spend a lot of time on these tumbleweeds.
Oh, well, out here in the being sun, all alone, ain't got much to keep you company. Sometimes the only noise you can hear are the crickets and the sound of rolling tumbleweeds.
The detective stared blankly at the tumbleweed-obsessed groundskeeper.
Noted. Well, I appreciate everyone's cooperation. Now, I know this situation isn't ideal, but I promise I will sort everything out as speedily as possible.
The party returned to murmurs, everyone scared and worried. The detective and his apprentice split off from the group.
I really hope the mayor's spirit can help us out of here.
I know, Stella. I do too. I really don't want you to get your hopes up if you don't end up seeing him, though.
You're right. I think I'm just getting ahead of myself.
I appreciate your enthusiasm, though. Here.
The detective handed his apprentice the vase with everyone's keys to the estate.
Before any of the ghostly happenings, your job is to watch this vase and make sure no one gets their hands on it. Now go and keep an eye on everyone while I get my notes together.
You have my word, detective.
The apprentice ran off, almost clumsily dropping the vase once or twice, but making it to the rest of the party. The detective wandered away from the group, looking at his notepad where the names of attendees laid in bullet points on the page.
Detective, I'm so proud of you.
The detective looked up, now face to face with a female apparition, her body warped and flickering. He smiled sadly.
Hello, again. Do you know anything that's happened this time?
It's all unexpected.
What was that?
It's unexpected.
The ghostly exchange came to an end as the spirit completely vanished.
Expect. What did she mean?
So, what did the apparition say? It's not what you expect, it's what you expect, or perhaps she didn't know what to expect. Place your vote through our website or our Instagram at Sunflower Story Hour, and we will see you very soon for another episode of Sunflower Story Hour. Thank you and good night.